Please let me know when you're ready, Bill.
We're good.
We're good? Okay, the first question is city finances, specifically being over budget in the interfund loan. I'm glad we got to talk about the park tonight and the transfer of money, because that's a perfect example of what is more commonly, you know, the rule and not the exception. Money gets transferred from one spot to another, money that's in a capital outlay fund for saving for something. The city council authorizes a purchase or an allocation of money, and then it's questioned, why did that department go over budget, or why are there funds being spent that aren't allocated for? And that park is a perfect example tonight. Raleigh's garbage truck from before, we've had several of those where while it shows up at the expense side, please remember that as a member of the Common Council, you've got an opportunity, but also a responsibility, that if somebody asks about these things out in the public, come in and get the information, and don't just look at the expenditure side of things. Look at the revenue side of things, refer to meeting minutes where funds have been allocated or reallocated, because these departments going over budget, and it's easy to say, oh, this so-and-so is mismanaging his department, or she's not managing her department, she's got overtime, and you know, then it goes right upstairs to me saying, well, why is the PD over, or why is the street department over? And I'm happy to answer those questions, but we need to sit down and actually take a look at those allocations, look at those transfers, and take a look at what we've budgeted for. Because a lot of those things have been misrepresented and outright falsified. And I've had people that have asked me a quick trip at the grocery store and wherever, and I've taken the time to explain it, and I've told them, come on down to City Hall and we'll show you our capital outlay accounts, you know, demonstrate what's going on, and then they get it. But putting doubt out in the public about the city's finances in an effort to undermine me doesn't undermine me, because when I'm done being mayor, we still have businesses that invest here, people that buy homes here, and if they have a lack of confidence in our city in an attempt to come after me, then I view that as a huge mistrust and a breach of the trust of the public and misconduct in office. The truth is what's supposed to be important out there, and the politics is supplemental to it. Like me or hate me, I don't care. But the truth about our city finances is going to go out there. And if the truth isn't out there and somebody's misrepresenting or lying about it, that's the misconduct, that's the shame. Regarding the mayoral appointments, it is the mayor's prerogative to appoint, and the council can either approve or deny those. There does not have to be a reason for an appointment, a new appointment, or reappointing somebody else. Anybody that lives within the city and is a qualified elector is a qualified appointee. Obviously, you can't live in Norway Valley or Thompson Valley and be on the utility commission or you know, on the city council or anything like that. And if the city has an ad hoc committee, those committees, not every committee needs council approval either. And I guess I've asked people for suggestions in the past for certain appointees. Most recently, I've talked to Fritz and Joe. I have asked Dr. Fetch for some appointees for the Community Development Committee. Still waiting on those, but like it or don't like it, Gene Killian, Gary Bouch, John Kimmel, and Orvin Angst, and every other mayor has that prerogative to appoint. Like it or don't like it, that's the way it's set up. I didn't write the statutes, I didn't write any of those rules, but I'm certainly going to follow those guidelines. So, Robert's Rules of Order, great discussion tonight. That's come up several times. Like I said, if there's a way that we can improve things, God bless us, we're supposed to keep improving. We're not you know, that's the whole idea of our country, that we keep improving. We're not done, we're not finished. Healthcare, it's been asked about. I wish Jan was still here, because she's made several comments about this, and I hope that tonight's presentation answered those questions. This is a community thing, this is not a council thing or a mayor thing. And to use it as opportunistic to, again, say things about me, that's not fair. We lost our hospital, we lost our emergency room, and it was a genuine attempt by some great people in the community to see what we could do. I've gone back and taken a look at some of the videos online, and I see myself walking the microphone around to people and letting people comment 1 time, 2 times, 4 times. How many times you get to talk?
Oh, quite a few.
So, you know, I think that's a great demonstration right there. She can't even count how many because it's so many. Because people get the chance to talk. It is what it is, the facts are there. Ordinance 301 in the moratorium, I stand by our decision on that. We passed the original moratorium. It was charged to the planning commission to study everything. It said no longer than 12 months. The planning commission did not ask for more than 12 months. The recommendations were put forth in an ordinance, and there wasn't a need for more time. You know, like it or don't like it. I mean, I've lost things at the table that I've fought for. There's things that I have tried and tried and tried and I didn't get. You move on to the next thing. We did a great city zoning ordinance. Much more in-depth than the county zoning ordinance, and I would hope that at some point if the county looked at ours, we got a lot of great resources and we put a lot of great restrictions and guidelines in there. Several of which came from the Trumbull County Moratorium Committee itself. So this was not a one-sided document. A lot of information came from that committee and their report, and they are verbatim. If you take them out and you look at them, they are verbatim for what the County Moratorium Committee recommended. And information at the landfill. Yeah, it was a lot of information. Some people say give us all the information. Some people say it's too much. It's a crapshoot. You can flip a coin. Is it too much? Is it not enough? I will always err on the side of giving more information than less, because what I don't want is somebody to say, well, if he didn't tell us this, what else isn't being said? If the city council isn't telling us this, what else isn't the council saying? So we put all the information out there. A year ago when we met with the township, we identified immediately we could have done better. So we attempted to do better and put more information out there. If it was too much, I apologize, but that's just the way it is. There's been a lot of division in the community, and I've wondered, how did it start? Where did it begin? I've personally put out multiple offers and requests for compromise. I've said, let's sit down at the public meetings that are recorded up at the high school. I specifically asked for compromise. I asked for ways that we could work together on this, and I think our zoning ordinance absolutely was a compromise. It was passed, the ordinance moratorium was passed, it was studied, it was recommended, and then it was passed as a zoning ordinance. When I offered compromise to a local woman here, Dr. Sarah Slavy said, it's like being pregnant, you either are or you're not. There's no room for compromise on this. That was frustrating. I spent, I think it was 51 minutes on the phone with her that night saying, let's find some common ground where we agree. No compromise. It's like being pregnant. You either are or you aren't. Well, that's not what politics and leading in government is about. And I was disappointed by that. The state has certain standards regarding conflict of interest. And they include taking any official action substantially affecting a matter in which the official, a member of his or her immediate family, or an organization with which the official is associated with has a substantial financial interest. Doc, when we're talking about rules and conduct and decorum, I think we need to adopt this too as far as conflicts of interest. Using his or her office or position in a way that produces or assists in the production of a substantial benefit, direct or indirect, for the official, one or more members of the official's immediate family, either separately or together, or an organization with which the official is associated. And associated means, when used with the reference to an organization, includes an organization in which an individual or a member of his or her immediate family is a director, an officer, or trustee, or owns or controls directly or indirectly, and severally or in the aggregate, at least 10% of the outstanding equity, or of which an individual or member of his or her immediate family is an authorized representative or agent. I've noticed at different meetings, especially at the town last year, there's been attempts to dominate the town meeting. Comments or questions are asked that insinuate or are misleading to say something, and then they say, oh, never mind. Letters to the editor to question or discredit, but not an easy way to get information out there to disprove those things. Things being said on the street that aren't true, and then it started carrying over to the city of Arcadia, council meetings, city hearings, and the like. Discredit, misdirect, attention, letters to the editor, and false information being spread. Our community attention has been misdirected many times, and I feel that the current state of politics is a perpetration of a fraud. And I haven't gotten a chance to say that here. I've taken in a lot of heat. I've fallen on the sword to try to keep the peace. I've asked for compromise, and I said I have a couple of questions, and Ms. Kolstad, I have a couple of questions directly related to you. In August of 2013, you obtained a warranty deed for a property after a divorce settlement, of which half undivided, 1/2 interest has been turned over through an agreement to Noah N. and Sarah D. Slavy. 1/2 interest is worth roughly $365,000. That's a value of $730,000. And in extreme.
This is not on the agenda.
Boy, oh boy.
You know what?
What's the?
Why are you bringing this up?
Hold on. I listened to you guys yell at me. Let me answer. I'm turning this over to the district attorney. You have came after me for conflict of interest. I'm done.
Call for adjournment. I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn, second. I'll vote whenever you're ready, Mrs. Berg.
Soapbox in here.
You know what? Responding to soapbox. Amen.
Yes.
Fetch.
You're not done.
Feltus.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yep.
Wojni.
Yes.
Kolstad.
This is a bird's card. This is just John's.
No, I didn't.